Hello, I make that. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Beach Winch, welcome, welcome. Good to see you guys. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Habitual hobbies. Hello, hello, hello. I'll try to get myself settled in here. I'm now crooked. I didn't have it where I wanted it, but you know what? I'm going to keep learning how to do this. It's only a couple of times I've done it, so I should probably practice. That would be smart, but nobody accuses me of that on YouTube, which is good. It's good. Oh, great. Thank you, Habitual Hobbies. I appreciate that update. Oh, you guys, like how is it May? I'm still thinking about what winter seedlings I'm going to start, before my last frost date, but I am way past my official last frost date. But we have had, and I'm guessing it's everywhere else, we've had crazy weather, like crazy weather. It was cold last week, like in the 50s, and this is May in Florida. And so it blows my mind, especially now. And I think if you guys are gardening too, like you start paying attention to the weather and what's happening and is it going to rain today? I have to say again now, if the forecast says it's going to rain, I just water the garden anyway, at least this time of year, because the forecast saying it's going to rain means absolutely nothing apparently where I live. So all around me, they were getting inches of rain and I got nothing. Like literally the fronts that moved through like 8 or 9 days ago, I say nothing. We got like an inch of rain over the course of several days. For where I am, that's not very much rain. If we were in Palm Springs, that would be a lot of rain, but so it is kind of funny. Hey Kay from Michigan, good to see you. Yeah, bright and sunny an hour ago and not so much now. And even here, like the problem with the lighting is back behind me, and I may just have to use a different camera. I'm on my laptop now, but I think next time I'm going to set up my phone because it definitely does a better job when there's backlight behind me. So thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for helping me figure it out. Thank you for being a part of the channel. I'm having such a good time sharing the stuff that I'm learning, giving you perfect examples of how you can be absolutely imperfect and still get a little bit to eat out of your yard. And so I appreciate you all being on this journey with me. Yesterday, I released a video of the garden tour that I did at Mom's. If you did not see that yet, maybe someone could help out and throw the link in the comments somewhere. But it was a tour of Mom's secret garden, and really and truly had a nice time doing that and went through it pretty quickly. And Mom was so thrilled to have everyone commenting on that. So feel free, hit that video back up, put some more comments on there, send some love to Mom. One of the commenters said, I think that's your mother-in-law. Yes, my mother-in-law, my mother-in-love, who I adore, who I drive absolutely crazy, but she puts up with me anyway. I'm very, very lucky to do that. So, hey Keely, how are you? How are you? All right, let's see here. 34 degrees. Oh my gosh. Why is it called a secret garden? Because I was being silly. And I thought it would be funny because it is kind of secret. You can't see it from the street. You would have no idea that it's back there, just how it's nestled in. And so I just was being silly and I was on YouTube and I said, hey, you guys want to see Mom's secret garden? And so now it's stuck, and Mom even is gonna, I think that she's picked a YouTube handle, Mom's Secret Garden. So she may be here in a little while with us, which will be fine. Keely, how to be a moderator. I would really appreciate that. Actually, I don't know a whole lot about that, but since you've raised your hand, I'm just going to go ahead and click add as moderator, and let's see. I think this works. Standard moderator. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, Mike's Chaotic Gardening. How are you? Did I miss anybody? If you haven't put so yet, be sure to tell me in the comments where you're from. We've got Michigan. We've got Missouri. I know we've got someplace very, very cold with Mike's Chaotic Gardening. I know we've got North Carolina, Michigan here, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Of course, I am in Florida, Zone 9A in Northeast Florida, which is different than Zone 9A in California because the zone just talks about, I believe, the average temperatures. whereas you actually have frost dates that also help you figure out when things are right for your area. So Minnesota zone 4, Indiana, fantastic, fantastic. Kay, I appreciate that you like that answer. I was just being silly. Mom has if you guys saw the video, it's a bountiful little garden, and she is always keeping those beds, turning them over and doing other stuff in them. And it's really kind of fun to watch. And we kind of have like an internal competition. We're not competing head to head, but she'll see a YouTube video and get an idea, and then I'll come over and do it, or I'll get a video and I'll go and do it. And she even told me last night she's not here yet, so I can say it. She'll probably catch this on the replay. And she goes, "Sometimes I even learn things from you." That is high praise. That is high praise from my very sweet, very wonderful, yes, as someone deducted Asian mother-in-law. So I am very, very fortunate from that. So fantastic. Beach Wench, have a great night. Have a great night. Keely, thank you so much for putting that link up there for us. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pin that link for a little bit. I think I can, oh, yeah, I can do that. Replace that, and I'll stick it up there. If anybody wants to watch that video, I went ahead and pinned it for a little bit. You guys can bookmark that for later. It would make her day. But tonight, what I thought I would share with you all is sort of 3 things that I've been thinking about that could be some of the best advice that I could give you about your garden. Now, I am not going to talk about adding eggs underneath tomato plants or putting compost in the garden. That's stuff that everybody's talking about. For me, really, I wanted to share some things that maybe you aren't necessarily thinking about, but maybe you are. But I just wanted to give you my perspective as both a gardener and as someone who's a content creator on YouTube, because I have a little bit of different perspective than maybe you do. And so someone says they see Babyface. Oh, we got both. We got Babyface and Moose behind us over there, right over there. Moose. Oh, there he is. See, Moose is in the back and the Babyface is in the front. You're right. You're right. So we'll just let the cats do something behind my shoulders here. Hopefully nothing very, very cat-like. Nope, got to turn that back. Very cat-like. Nope, got to turn that back. Sorry, guys. Because of the time of the day it is, you may see ducks back here today. You may see storks. You may see I think it's a wood stork. You may see cranes. You may see egrets flying through. Often this time of day, we will see the hawk or see some barred owls fly through. They fly through very quickly and very quietly. So it's pretty funny. It's pretty fun to be out here this time of day. So those 3 things. So this one might surprise you, but I think it's really important to talk about because you watch me and you watch other YouTubers who are creating content around products. Some of them are amazing products. Some of them are very expensive products, like some of the beds that I show you guys. But I don't think that you should have to go into debt to start a garden. A number of people messaged me early on. They said, "Michelle, we just can't afford one of those beds." Then by all means, don't buy one of those beds. If it's not in the budget, find another way. And I assure you, there is another way. There are things that you can do to speed it up by spending money. But at the end of the day, the thing that is going to make you the best food is the garden you have. It's the garden you have. And so whether that means you are literally grabbing a single pot and having your first container garden in a single pot, or you have a little place in your backyard that you've dug up and you've made a couple of rows, that is you. You should do that, but you don't have to spend $300 on a garden bed, all this money on fertilizer and all these other things. Especially if you want to think about organic and permaculture practices, you could really do a whole lot with reclaimed yard waste, making a hugelkultur mound, or finding other ways to do that. So that's really the first piece of advice that I give you, especially if you're growing your own food, because you want to save money on your grocery bill. And a lot of people are really looking for ways to save money on your grocery bill. You don't get the return very quickly when you spend $300 on a garden bed. Now, on the other hand, if you have the money and you can afford to do it, right? And you want to garden waist high, or you want to garden in a green stalk, or you want to garden and use some of these tools, do it. Use it. Take advantage of them. Make your food amazing. A lot of the things that I invest in, I expect to have for a really long time. So the idea of spending $300 on a garden bed so that I can garden in it for the next 13 to 20 years doesn't feel like a very big deal to me. I know that if I made it from wood, I would have to replace it every so many years. And so I made that choice to save up and make that investment. But and I told you guys I'll always share with you when this happens. Many of us on YouTube have the opportunity to demonstrate and review products because we do receive those products for free or because we are an affiliate for the company. You all know I'm an affiliate for Vigo. I'm an affiliate for Birdies. I'm an affiliate for True Leaf and for Botanical Interest. I don't make that a secret. I always try to share that, but I'm always going to tell you what I think. And in fact, I've got 2 brand new beds sitting over here, one from Vigo and one from Birdies, and they were both provided by the company. And I'm going to talk about that when I release that video because I wanted to do an update based on the things that I've learned in the past year. And I have new thoughts. I found better ways to put the beds together. And I'm going to make videos about that because I think it's going to help folks who want to garden like this. So I'm going to pause and just take a look at some of the content. Yes, Mike's chaotic garden ignores the human, pure cat. Absolutely no interest in what I'm doing at all. I don't have food for them. They couldn't care less about me at all. Keely says, by the time you buy all the woods to keep out the critters, you might as well buy the metal beds like I really want to. And that may be the right choice for you. That may be the right choice for you. If you're living in a place where you have to really fence out the critters, then whether those are human critters or physical, like, animals, sometimes the investment might be better. And it might be that important to you for your food. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying just got to be smart. Just be smart and kind to yourself. Habitual Hobby says that she has containers that she grows in that were gotten at auction or for cheap or from people for free. Absolutely. Get things for free when you can. I mean, over my shoulder, it's moved right now, but you can kind of see there's the blue bins over here. Where is that? There we go. Over there to the other side of the compost pile, we have wood we've picked up from the side of the road. We have metal railings we picked up on the side of the road. I've picked up fence posts, T-post, trellises, trellis material, fencing, chicken wire, and that's all in the time that I've just lived here. I just pay attention. Heck, yesterday I wish I had the picture now. It's out front. Yesterday we were driving down the road and I looked over and I was like, stop the car. What? Turn around. We got to turn around. There were retaining wall bricks on somebody's trash pile. 31 of them. That's $75 worth of bricks if I went to buy them that I'll be able to use around the garden. I assure you, you will see them again soon. So, and there is absolutely, thank you. Keely says, I'll tell the absolute truth regards to affiliation. Absolutely. The most important thing I have is my reputation here. I have no interest in not being authentic with you guys and telling you what I think. I mean, I had challenges that I had last time. So, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with using what you have. Absolutely. I had blue barrels. I split them in half and I made elevated garden beds. There are so many things out there for free or very low cost that you wouldn't even believe. You just have to pay attention to them. At many of the bakeries, you can get the 5-gallon buckets, or you can go to sub shops. Like we have a Firehouse Subs around here. They sell their buckets for $2. Well, it's a food safe bucket. It's only had food in it. It's $2. It's cheaper than the ones that you buy brand new from any of the big box stores. So definitely you want to do that. You definitely want to use what you can with what you have. And if you guys watch the video with Mom, we're always, I pointed out like 3 or 4 things. And I think I did a short. If I didn't do a short, I made the video walking around here and pointing out all the things that I got for free. All that firewood back there, free. Between neighbors giving it to me and tree companies, free. All the mulch that I've had, well, not all of the mulch. I did have 1 load of mulch brought in. But other than that, I've had 4 loads of free mulch where I just tipped the driver. I just gave the driver a tip, So it's not that terrible of a thing. And if you live in the Midwest, apparently there are lots of places to get cattle buckets and things like that and do a raised garden. My very first garden, I bought the little panels from Kmart. If y'all remember Kmart, I bought these little 4x4 gardens 10 years ago and spent some money on the dirt. That's where you want to not go cheap. You want good soil. And if you can't afford to buy good soil, then you got to figure out how to start making good soil. So I probably beat that dead horse enough. A lot of local nurseries will sell you used gallon and half gallon pots for cheap. Absolutely. And when you buy a pot, save it, hang on to it. I've got stacked, actually, it's over here. I can't show you because I'm not going to drag it all the way around. I've got a trash can completely full of buckets that had other plants in them when we moved in here from where I've been planting and buying plants. So, absolutely. So, that was number one. You don't need to go into debt to start a garden. Mind your P's and Q's, mind your business. Don't make yourself broke trying to start a garden. There are so many cheap and affordable ways to do it. And just know, folks like me, we're here because people often send us stuff or they give us the opportunity to review it, and we can tell you what we think of it. I'm always going to tell you what I think. It's just what it is. So, number two, and I know y'all love watching YouTube videos because you're here with me right now. If you're not watching this video, you wouldn't be hearing my voice, right? But number two is you can follow other YouTubers. You can take garden advice. You can do all these things, but pay attention to the advice. I always try to share that I'm in Zone A in Northeast Florida because Zone A in Northeast Florida, Zone 9A in Northeast Florida is different than Zone 9A in California. It's different than Zone 8B by just a little bit. I can't really throw a stone, but I'm not that far from 8B. I'm still in 9A, but I'm pretty close to 8B. And the temperature I have here, and someone just signed up for the channel today and subscribed to the channel today, and they said they were really grateful to see other people in Northeast Florida because even in our Northeast Florida area, I don't live out near the ocean. I'm far, far west. The ocean is different than even in town. My property, the shape of my property is different than your property. And so watch all of YouTube, get all these ideas and inspiration, and then go try stuff in your own yard. Go try it and see what works. See what does well for you. And you've got to do it year after year to sort of get a hang of things. Everybody talks about how easy tomatoes are to grow. I am growing my first good-looking tomatoes ever. Now, I don't mean the cherry tomatoes, those little cherry tomatoes, while they're delicious, but I mean a regular full-size tomato, a slicer of some kind, not even giant beefsteaks. But I finally have tomatoes for the first time, and this is my fourth garden season here. It's the fourth time I've tried to grow tomatoes here. I've tried other times. I've been really successful with tomatillos, but not tomatoes. And so I'm really excited to have some tomatoes on. Big ones. It takes a while for them to get going. It takes a while. And then it gets really hot here. So if you don't have them set fruit early, you don't end up getting them because we've had also, aside from 50-degree weather, we've had 90-degree weather. So got some more comments here. Oh, thank you. Keely shared my trash to treasure things to start your garden on the cheap. Absolutely. Knowing your zone is important. It matters for what you're doing in the garden. It matters when you're going to have frost dates. Even in Florida, it's almost heat dates. So once it reaches, someone can correct me, but I think it's 84 degrees or 85 degrees. Tomatoes stop setting flowers, which means they stop creating more fruit. Anything that's on the vine can keep on growing, but you're not going to get any more flowers. In fact, my last best tomato haul was last winter, and they were small cocktail tomatoes. But I had my best haul of all the times I've ever had ever grown tomatoes then. But I keep learning and trying and doing and learning and trying and doing and figuring out a whole lot of what doesn't work. Y'all get to see like the 50-yard line view of the things that go really well. I try to show the behind the scenes view too, because not everything is perfect. There are so many things that don't go right. Like, honestly, if it weren't for perennials, I probably wouldn't really have very much harvest right now at all. I've got some peppers and I've got some tomatoes. Everything else is perennial. I started some garlic chives. I got 2 little chives, and I You know, I screwed up my okra. I mean, so many things that I've done wrong this year, but I'm still eating food. And so just got to keep trying stuff. So, Keely says that she and Keely, or I always say Keely, but it might be Kelly. So if you want to let me know in the comments which that is, I'll be happy to fix that if I'm saying it wrong. Habitual Hobby says 85, but 90 seems to be okay where you are. Fantastic. And you might have cooler nights than I do. So who knows what the whole gist of that is. So that's excellent. Good on y'all. Good on y'all. Good on y'all. Then actually, before I go to number 3, I want to tell you guys, actually, do I have it in here? I started to write this and then I think I sideswiped myself. I am creating an email list, I don't want to call it a newsletter. That sounds so businessy, but just like a way for me to stay in touch with you guys off of YouTube, off of Instagram, off of these other channels. Sometimes things come up that I want to share with you. It might be about a garden sale. It might be a really cool tip I saw on YouTube. I might let you know when I write a new blog post that didn't have a video on YouTube. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it all out. But if you would like to be on that list and get those messages from me, you can go to michelleinthemeadow.com/hello. michelleinthemeadow.com/hello. I'll see if I can put this in the comments here. Edit, but then I did something else. And so you know how that goes. Meadow. I don't know how to type. Do you guys type when you're trying to do this? That's so funny. Hello. michelleinthemeadow.com/hello. Hopefully that worked. And so, yeah, I think that's it. And so it's Kaylee. All right. Fantastic. Kaylee. I was close. Elizabeth says the wacky weather we've been having, it makes it really tough to know. It absolutely is tough to know. It is absolutely tough to know. You're trying to sort of time it. And I think that's where the advice of doing things in stages come in. So starting one round of seedlings, succession planting, that's the fancy word they use, succession planting. So starting a little bit of seedlings, and then in 2 weeks, starting some more seedlings, and in 2 more weeks, starting some more seedlings, so that you're at least sort of buffering against the change in the weather and something is going and growing for you. So there we go. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you, Kaylee. I'm going to get it right now. Kaylee. Fantastic. So Number three is, if you are not already gardening, you can start really, really simply. All you need is some kind of a small container, some good dirt, and some seeds. And you can do that pretty cheap. You may or may not be a fan of Dollar Tree. I know I talk about products that are made in other places because I want you to be aware. But if you're really constrained by budget, Dollar Tree often has a small container, $1.25, or a set of containers. They have seeds for as low as $0.25 a pack. I'm not saying these are the best seeds. I'm not saying they're perfect seeds. They even have potting mix sometimes for $1 a bag. So literally, if you went to the Dollar Tree and you wanted to do something, by the way, not sponsored by the Dollar Tree, but you could go to the Dollar Tree and literally have yourself start a pot of tomatoes for $3.75 plus tax, right? A pot, some soil, and some seeds, if it was $1.25 pack of seeds. So just so you know that, you just have to pay attention to what is going on. Another great resource for just getting started is to find people on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram in your area. You know, on YouTube, there are a lot of permaculture groups and organic groups. In Florida, there's this Florida gardening group where they have something for everybody. And you can absolutely join these groups. Go to bartering sessions. Find ways. If you don't have the money for these things, find ways to help. You know, maybe you want to learn a little bit more about tomato gardening, and there's a neighbor down the street that knows how to garden. Go help them in their garden. You know, be neighborly. Learn from one another. I had a great neighbor down the street, gave me pine straw because she decided she wasn't going to use it, but we talk about my garden all the time. I, of course, gave her some peaches because that's the appropriate and prudent thing to do when someone gives you a gift. If you can give them grown food from your yard, there is nothing more amazing than that, at least for me. So Kay wants to know what I recommend planting with collard greens. I don't have a particular thing in mind for collard greens. I don't think I've tried to grow them. Here's what I know. They're a brassica. They are actually a green that will do good in the heat, because I know here in the South we eat collards in the summer and into the winter. And so they do reach a point that they're not good. I would say anything that would be a good companion plant for other brassicas might be a good thing. I am going to be testing, and I did this last year with my pepper plants. I just go, I don't know if this will work for brassicas, but here's what I'm going to try. I just go to the local grocery store and buy green onions, and I chop everything but the bottom inch of the onions, and I trim off the roots, and I chop everything else up, and I leave it in the freezer for when we're making omelets or other cooking things. And then I go and I pick a plant and I stick 3 or 4 onions around the plant. And on my peppers last year, now they were in fairness, they were isolated away from other things, but on my peppers last year, I never had any bug damage on my peppers that I had in a container and had onions surrounded them. So I don't know if that is a thing that's not good with brassicas or not, but maybe that's something we could look up. Maybe I could put that in a future video, some companion planting advice. There are a lot of great advice out there. So I'll put that on the list for maybe next time. But definitely, if you haven't started a garden, start. I don't care where you live. It is not too late to start something, right? Maybe you only have a windowsill and it's still cold where you live. I know Kay said that she is still a couple of weeks away. I think several people on the channel can't even start thinking about putting their plants outside until after Memorial Day. That's still, another few weeks away. So it's just a matter of where you are. You absolutely can still start a garden. You just have to figure out what you want to grow. Is this light helping? I'm going to turn this off if it doesn't make a difference. Let's see. Oh, it does make a little bit of a difference. Okay, back on it is. I always like to see that ring. I feel like I'm silly. I feel silly when I see that. So fantastic. Kaylee said, I've read don't plant brassicas near mustards, tomatoes, or peppers. That is interesting. Now, I don't know if I thought mustard was in the brassica family, but I'm not sure now that you write that. But okay, so maybe not with those. And I wonder if it has to do because of the tremendous nitrogen need they both have. And so you want to plant something that doesn't have that same level of need. But so those are my 3 tips. Those are my 3 tips for tonight. The best gardening advice I can give you so far. You don't need to go into debt to start a garden. You can follow the advice of other YouTubers, but the very best way that you're going to learn is to get into your own yard and try some things out. You can't be afraid to fail. I assure you, I fail a lot. There's just not enough time for you to make all the videos of my failures. There's barely enough time to make the videos of the successes. So, I just can't. When something goes right, though, I'm super excited to share that with y'all. I was screaming like a little girl. Thank you, Habitual Hobbies, for not laughing at me too hard. But, when I opened up the vermicomposting sub pod, and poof, the things I'd put in there had been eaten. And I didn't open up to just a mess. And I think the shade cloth is helping over there, but I got so excited I couldn't even control myself. It was so funny, but I had a mentor, and it was a business mentor, but I think the advice stands. His advice was fail forward fast. So try stuff, learn stuff. I've got sitting on the other side of the grill here, also free, by the way, because I have an amazing neighbor who got a new grill and gave me that one. But I have seedlings. Mom gave me seedlings. Mom, sorry if you're watching this. I didn't get the squash planted. I got the loofah planted, though. We had that for breakfast, y'all. I have grown loofah before, but I always waited till it got really big to harvest it, and I thought it tasted terrible. I really didn't like it. But Mom said, you've got to harvest them early. And so I harvested one today harvested yesterday, about that long. We stuck it in the fridge, and then my wife sliced it up and cooked it with breakfast. I do have a video coming out about that this week. I did the monthly garden tour, but with mom's garden tour, I didn't want to go mom's garden tour short and a live today. I was trying to like space them out a little bit, but we do what we can. So the next video out will be the May garden tour, just showing you guys how different it is since April, which is kind of crazy what's growing on over here for me. And I still have now, I still need to dig out the Vigo bed. I'm pointing to it because it's right over there. And I have a new Vigo and a new birdies that need to be set up and filled. And so I'm just finally making it happen. It's just been busy. It's just been busy. Thank you. Habitual Hobby said, totally agreed. Failure is a part of the process. It's part of the learning. Someone said, Michelle, you didn't fail. You just found one more way not to do it. Not to do it. Okay, I love that. So I want your advice and or suggestion on something, if you don't mind. I have one more banana plant that needs to be cut back, and I'm going to end up with a banana log that's probably about 3 feet long. And so mom suggested, and I decided we are going to dig out a section, like maybe with a hole saw, dig out a section several places and start some seeds right in the banana leaves or banana stalk. And then I'm going to plant it over, I think, over where the worm bin is. Maybe I've got to figure that out. It'll have to be planted. Maybe it'll end up coming into one of these beds. What kind of seedlings should I start here in June? It'll be June by the time I get that done, I'm sure, knowing me. What kind of seedlings should I try starting in there? I was thinking about all kind of things that would be really funny to use that for. What I did study up and learn is that flowering plants like more of the potassium versus a leafy green. And so I was thinking about maybe starting some late summer tomatoes or some peppers or even some squash or something. So for sure, hit me up. Tell me something down in the comments that you think would be really, really good. Kaylee said, mustard is a brassica. I can't imagine why garden centers advise about planting with others. I don't know. Unless it really brings all the cabbage moths to the yard and it's going to create more problems. So I think that would be good. Shade cloth. I know it's hot where you live. What percentage of shade cloth would you recommend? So, Kay, I haven't used any shade cloth yet, but I probably would go with a 50% in my hotter area because it really does get really, really hot. And I have something coming that I found on Amazon. They're just cool little snaps. When I get them, I'll demonstrate them for you. I am hoping they will be the answer to shade cloth that I've been looking for because it looks like it allows you to make it like a curtain, like a vertical curtain in a very affordable way. And so I'm going to be testing that to see if that's something that I could use for the cedar garden bed where I have the worm bin. I am currently not using officially shade cloth. I actually put landscape fabric over the top of the bed and created some air gap in there. And it's significantly different. It's easily 10 degrees cooler underneath the shade cloth. I mean, underneath the landscape fabric than above it. So I'm really happy with that. Some impatience. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you. Hey, Sweet Tea Transfers. Good to see you here. I am so happy that I'm expanding too, Kay. I really want to grow more food, and I haven't figured out the balance, right? I haven't figured out what the balance is to grow enough food. I'm not trying to grow enough food to last us a whole year, but I definitely want to be able to have some of our meals each week out of the yard. It would be great if I could figure out how to preserve and keep it. I'm just not there yet. I've got the materials. Back when the pandemic was happening, if I was in a store and they had canning jars, I would just grab one little flat of canning jars. So I have a few of those saved up and I've got a canner. I'm not there yet, but at least I'm getting some meals out of the yard. We had loofah with our eggs this morning. We have had mulberries. Actually, the mulberries are just our garden stack when we walk around. We've had blueberry. We haven't had blueberries yet. We had a couple of blackberries. We had peaches. Oh, the peaches. So okra is a suggestion for growing in the banana log. I like that suggestion. Actually, that would work out really, really well because I do have a section where I meant to plant okra and not very much of it is coming up. So it might be a good backup plan for that. Thank you for that suggestion. Thank you for that suggestion. Kaylee said, I looked up what to plant in a banana log. There are several channels offering videos of what to grow in them. So I've never would have thought of that. Mom saw it. Mom gave me that advice. And so there it is. Habitual hobbies. I love okra flowers. They are absolutely gorgeous. Fun fact, and I learned this, I think sometime last year, in the past year, okra is in the same family with hibiscus. So if you guys have never seen an okra bloom, but you've seen a hibiscus bloom, you've seen something very, very similar, but they are absolutely just a beautiful flower. They're absolutely a beautiful flower. I love them. I think that's one of those things that you could plant around the front of your house and cluster them together and make a really pretty hedge looking thing for part of the season. I am going to try this year to keep my okra topped off at about 6.5 feet so that I don't have to bend it over. Last year I kept bending it over so that I could harvest it, and then it all sort of kept falling over. And so I'm going to try, if I cut the top, to see if I can force it to put more branches on down below and more okra down below where I can reach it. So wishing good for that. I'm checking over my shoulder to make sure nobody's running around back in the meadow. So I'm glad I could teach you something there, habitual hobbies. That's very cool. That is very cool. But do you guys have any other questions about the meadow, about what's growing on here, what any future plans are here? Go ahead and put them down in the comments below. I'm going to take a sip of water. I am super grateful that y'all came out and hung out with me tonight. This has been a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and pin the link to the hello. Let's see, I'm going to replace the pins message, but you will be able to find, if you want to join our little garden list, our little friendly list here, we would love to have you on the list. One of the fun facts is I am going to do a giveaway every month to people who are on that list as well, and our little friendship list. I don't know what to call it. What should I call it? That sounds so weird. I work in business. I know what lists are, and I know what marketing is, and I know all this stuff, but it seems weird. It feels weird. I feel like we're more friendly than that. So feel free if you have any suggestions for what I could call it. I just Meadow friends, the Meadow. Oh, you guys could be the Meadow Larks. I don't know. Silly me. Okay, great. We have our first suggestion. Kaylee said, show us the green stalks. Well, I would love to show you the green stalks. The only reason I don't show the green stalks right now is because nothing's happening in them. I haven't replanted them since last fall. And so that's absolutely going to be on the list. And I haven't dumped them out because I've got cilantro seed in there and I've got to collect that. It's finally dry enough days in a row that I feel like I can collect the seed and let them dry out really, really well. But the green stalks, like even this one over the corner here, we got a little bit of basil that is coming back in there, but nothing really growing on in there right now. So that's a good one. I do need to tighten those up and get something growing in there. They're just sitting here doing nothing. They could be working. Here in the garden for me. So Meadowlark. Hey, okay, it's official. Y'all are Meadowlarks now. What do you think? So feel free to hit that link, michelleinthemeadow.com/hello, and you'll be entered to win in the next one. I know a lot of you all, I gave some prizes for my video last week. I haven't forgotten. I promise. Thank you for sending your information. I thought what I was going to do was one way, and then I found out that it wouldn't work the way I wanted to do it. So I'm working on that. So thank you for your patience with me. I'm going to get this stuff figured out. I've only been doing this as a YouTuber, official YouTuber in the garden for just a little over a year now. I found some old YouTube videos of myself doing some other stuff back in the day. It was hilarious. I still think I'm kind of silly, but very, very funny. So some merch ideas. I appreciate the merch ideas. I don't know. I feel like maybe one day I'll have some merch ideas. Like, this isn't my merch. This says meet me in the meadow, but this is somebody else's cool shirt that they made that I found on Etsy. And I really like it. In fact, this is my second one. I bought another one because I liked it so much. Mike says, have I ever thought about planting water loving crops near the water? I have not, Mike, because where I am, that water also happens to be the drainage off of other people's yards. And I am, while it looks like I'm just back somewhere off in the woods, I am absolutely in the middle of the city. I just happen to be blessed to be in a pocket of woods around me that's about 8 to 10 acres behind me, spread out and around me. On this side of me is 100% a neighborhood. There's a retention pond that collects stuff off the street. So no food that I want to eat will I plant out there. However, I am continuously thinking about what kinds of cardinal, what kinds of trees that might be water loving trees that could be good food source trees for the birds to encourage them to stay further back that way and out of my blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and all the other berries that they want to come up here and eat. So that is an excellent question, though. I like that, Mike. That's really good. That's something really good to think about too. Hey, JL Butters from Jupiter. I'm glad you were having some fun out in the garden. That is fantastic. Um, Kaylee said, I have to find a quality company. I have quality companies that I can work with on t-shirts. So in fact, one of them is in the mix here. Sweet Tea Transfers makes amazing transfers for shirts, and we could do some really cool short run stuff. If I decide to do that, I'll let y'all know on the list. And I don't think I'm there yet for what it takes to manage merch and give a nice product and have to be in charge of that for now. But maybe in the future, I look at some of these other channels, you look at James P and you look at Jessica and you look at Mark, and they've got, 500,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers. So I guess maybe I'm comparing myself to them right now. It doesn't seem like I would rather spend more time finding great products to share with you guys and make great videos sharing what's really happening here. So, but I appreciate that suggestion. It may come in the future. I'm just not there now yet. So, um, it is time intensive, right? It is time intensive to try to have merch and run a merch store for sure. And I'm not a full-time YouTuber, full-time gardener, even though I'm in the garden a lot. I actually have I don't want to say many full-time jobs, but it feels like many full-time jobs. So I probably, between the garden and work, I probably put in 15-hour days, 14-hour days. And so I don't know that I could do a merch shop at this point. So, things that are easy to grow and they're in the green stalks are chives, green onions, Okinawan spinach, and longevity spinach. Okay. Bet. All right. I'm all about that. In fact, my wife asked me to grow garlic chives because we use those in a lot of our Asian dishes. And so that would be a really cool thing to do, is get a whole bunch of garlic chives going in there. I like that idea a lot. Thank you very, very much. Oh, some sunflowers to attract the birds instead of letting them eat your berries. That is definitely a plan. All kind of things happening behind me here. A branch is creaking. There's a woodpecker. Something else happened, and then somebody's here got to try to supervise. Not interested. Just like a cat. Such like a cat. So cat-like. These cats are so cat-like. So, people do strawberries in green stalks. Yeah, we're not. Dare I say it? We're not big strawberry people. I mean, it's okay. Isn't that funny? Now, I bet homemade delicious strawberries would be really wonderful. My wife's allergic, so we just don't have strawberries typically. So, but I like that idea. There must be supervision. A cat who, yeah, there must be supervision with the cats. A cat who'll turn their back to you will trust you. Yeah, but if I move my chair even just a little bit, he is gone. I think that's Moose. Babyface. Moose. Oh no, that's Babyface. I'm like, girl, I ain't got time for you. She is busy overseeing her dominion. I posted a picture of her on Facebook, on YouTube. Nope, that wasn't it. So you guys should hear my unedited versions of my videos because that's just me going, nope, nope, nope. You didn't say it right. Let's do that again, Michelle. You know, uh, that's my version of cut. But she was sitting over on the blocks and just surveying her land as if she is the queen of this place. She sure acts like it. So, can we grow mango in Northeast Florida? That is an excellent question, and Mom is going to find out. She ordered some dwarf mango fruit trees, and we're going to see if we can. I think, unless they are a cold, hardy variety, that it's going to be a tough pull up here. When they're young, it will be really easy to protect them, but as they grow, you would have to really stay on top of that. I do, and I will tell you, it's a funny thing that you asked about mangoes, but I learned I had, and this is going to be in the garden tour, so you guys get a little preview from the garden tour video. I have the avocado tree. It's hardy to 26 degrees. Perfect. I think it only got to 26 degrees or 27 degrees here this winter, even on our coldest day. But before we got to that really, really cold day, we had a couple of weeks of really, really hot weather, and the avocado tree set flowers. It set flowers, and then we had freezing temperatures, and I did not cover or protect it or put lights on or anything. So basically, we're going to have almost no avocados this year because I didn't think about that part. Last year we covered it and it didn't matter because we didn't have hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold like we did this year. This year we had that hot weather. It set those flowers and all the ends of it are all burnt and it hasn't set any new flowers. It might, but this is something that harvests in July. And so it's May and I have no new flowers. So I think I'm done for that for this year. But I assure you, my friends, I assure you that next time that sweet little avocado tree will get some frost protection and we won't have that happen again. So, yes, Kaylee, they are all of what they survey. Um, let's see here. Want to try a Chicago hardy fig? You need two because they'll grow up in Jersey. It is the only fig that doesn't have a wasp. Let me close this little alert here. That doesn't have a wasp in each figs. Oh, I I just pretend that when I'm crunching that that's just more of the beautiful flowers that grow on the inside for the fig. I just don't think about it. Um, and my wife is Southeast Asian. She's from Southeast Asia, so we traveled to Thailand a long time ago, and at the night market, the delicacies there are bugs. I didn't partake at that time. I might now. It's weird what a few years will do to your courage, but at the time I was like, ugh. Now I'm like, whatever, let's give it a shot. I think I would be that way. Who knows? So I try not to think about the bugs. If we knew how many bugs were in everything that we ate, we probably couldn't eat. So um, let's see. I'm excited to hear about the results of mango. Mango is so good, and they make such delicious food. With mangoes, green mango, ripe mango desserts. One of our favorites is to have. Uh, I won't say it right. I'm going to try. It's mango and sticky rice. It's a mamuang kaunio. Mamuang kaunio. I think I got that right. So Tammy said, "Is it a dried up stalk or still moist? I chopped up banana stalks in my small pieces and had bananas popping up in my compost all summer." Interesting. Well, this would be I won't plan to cut it down. It'll be a moist stalk because it hasn't been cut off yet. So I want to wait and cut it off as soon as I'm ready to use it. The banana plant is not thriving. It was one of the tallest ones. It didn't do well after the freeze, and I did not cut it off short. And everything else looks beautiful, but it does not. So I might as well cut it off and see what I get because it's not growing now, doing anything of value that I can tell out there. And so I figure I'll just take that little piece and try something. We'll just try something. So, um, um, I don't know what someone asked if I know what variety of figs and plants that I have. No, Uh, I don't. I will probably get better at keeping track of those things, and I try to leave the tags on them as long as I can. The only thing that I know that I have that really surprised me is I have some key limes, and the alternate name was called limequat. I'd never heard that before. So I don't know about the different varieties. I try to remember to keep the tags, like if I buy starts or if I use seeds or something, but I suck at that, frankly. Um, and I haven't bought any particular varieties yet, except for the pawpaw that I have. I don't know the variety, but I bought some pawpaw that were supposed to do well in my area, and that was really important. But at the same time, that's what I think about. I think about what will it handle the heat that I have here in Florida? Will it handle the cold that I have here in Northeast Florida? Because it's a very different growing zone from here to Miami. It's a very different growing zone, and so I do think about that. But I just look for varieties, or I look for types of plants that'll be good where I am. And I try to pay attention. The other thing I try to pay attention is particularly on the fruits and stuff. Do I need more than one? And of course, the vegetables, often we plant more than one. But if I'm going to grow blackberries, do I need two varieties or opposite varieties like you do for the blueberries? You need that they bloom at the same time, right? So I think that's good. Let's see. What do we have here? Um, Kaylee says, try to be open minded. There are some things you can't. Oh, absolutely. You do your best. You do your best. Yeah, you do your best with what you can. You eat what you can eat and take care of your own garden and do the things that work for you. That is the best part about all this. Hey, Flicker Hill Homestead, welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys, I talk about this from time to time. If y'all want to see an epic setup of Birdie's raised garden beds that have been put into these long beds, Flicker Hill, tell us, please, how many beds you put together? How long was it? 48 feet long bed, one bed. So that was fantastic. Um, Fantastic. Hello, hello. Yeah, many of the fruit trees do require more than one. Some are self-fertile, some have male and female, like our squash plants, but a squash plant can have both male and female blooms. There are some plants where one is actually a male and one is actually a female. There are some that are have, like I said, the male and female flowers on the same plant. So it's fascinating. I mean, you could do this for 20 years and still not know everything. You'd be really good at it though. You'd be making a lot of food if you just keep trying. All right, let's see. 40 Flicker Hill said we just planted 46 tomatoes in 4 of the 8-in-1 Birdies low beds. It's 27 feet long, and they have 22 Birdies beds. Y'all are way ahead of me. I have 3 Birdies beds. I have, and this is just assembled. I have 3 Birdies beds and 3 Vigo beds assembled, a forever bed. For now, I've got a few more coming on, and actually, I haven't released the video yet. I don't know if you can see right over there. That's back over in the nursery area. That is an urban range of the birdies, and it's starting to get its patina on. It's also going to be in the tour video. I have a few more videos to make with that. I really like it. I really like it. Oh, thank you, Kay. I knew someone would help me. Kaunio Mamwang. Kaunio Mamwang. So there we go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Um, Look at there. Look at there. Fantastic. Seedless watermelons require a specific type of seeded companion in order to produce. See? Well, yeah, and that makes sense, right? They're seedless. I always wondered how they made more seedless watermelons if they're seedless. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But so Kaunio Mamwang. Yesterday, so Mom had this idea. This may be of interest to you all. Mom actually speaks multiple languages pretty nicely. So I know that she speaks Thai and Vietnamese and Cambodian and Lao, I believe, and then some other things. And so she's very, very well versed in language. And so funny, someone came to the channel whose name I identified as being I'm from Southeast Asia. And so Mom's like, oh yeah, just tell her this. And I'm like, how do I type that? I was like, I don't know. We'll have to look it up. And so I'm typing in Vietnamese to someone on one of the channels. So it is kind of a fun world for me that I get to experience a lot of different food and culture and things in my family life. So I'm very blessed for that. I'm very, very blessed for that. So yeah, she is really, it's, she's impressive. She's impressive. One day maybe I'll get her to want to show her face on camera. She's not there yet, but I think that she is going to let me do another tour of her yard, and we're going to highlight all of the Asian vegetables she has. I think she's going to tell a little bit about how she cooks with them, why she's planting them, and she's going to try to give the names in different languages. So I think that'll be kind of fun. Um, so JL Butters is asking if the birdies have stainless steel nuts and bolts now. Funny you should ask. So I've not seen any rusting on my birdies beds. Now I've only had them out for about, they got assembled in February of 2022. So they're what, 14 months old, 15 months old. Um, but I will say I was trying to use a magnetic bowl to hold the screws, to use them so they wouldn't dump out. And I know that none of the screws and nuts would hold in there for the Vigo. So apparently stainless steel is not magnetic. But for the birdies, some things stuck and some things didn't. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. And I don't remember which is which now because I had another YouTube channel. Oh, y'all got to check out her channel. We connected, and the channel is Road to Gardenberry. Let me see if I can find that real quick here. Oh, let me not be running that tab at the same time. That was weird. That. Get this right here. Definitely go over and subscribe and like her channel. She's doing some really cool stuff, and she is teaching me some things about how to use this equipment and cameras and to make short videos. And I am trying to type and talk at the same time, which is always a terrible idea. But Road to Gardenberry, thank you, Keely. Road to Gardenberry, fun little YouTube channel. She's just getting started. Please go and show her some love. Please go and show her some love. She's a really smart gardener. She's been gardening way longer than I have, and she's putting together some really cute, nice, short content. And it's just kind of fun to watch her grow her channel. And I'm really grateful for all the people that welcomed me to YouTube. And I feel like I also should pass that blessing along as well. Thank you so much. Correct, not magnetic. So stainless steel is not magnetic. So y'all see what's happening behind me here, right? It's dinner time. It's dinner time. Here we go. Um, so yeah, so not all of them are stainless steel yet. And maybe they're rolling it out, and maybe they're trying to replace it within their packets. It probably takes a while from manufacturing until things land here once they've begun making those updates. And, if you all have ever worked in a factory or a warehouse where people are doing shipping and logistics, when it's food items, right? It's all they want to do, first in, first out. But when it's manufactured goods, who knows? You might get a garden bed that's been on the shelf for 6 months when it comes time to pack and ship your order. I know the Vigo beds that I received just a couple months back are date stamped, June of last year. So. Have you ever considered the livestock tank for a raised bed? Yes, I have considered it, and I liked the idea for a long time until I saw one, and Flicker Hill already hit the nail on the head. I saw one that I'd seen just a couple years later, and the whole bottom was already rusted out on it, and so I'm probably not going to spend the money on that to do that, because I don't know now, honestly. Some of those stock tanks, especially the galvanized ones, are pretty expensive. No, I mean, I know all these different beds are expensive, But I think some of these shorter ones might be just as affordable as a stock tank. The plus is whether you had to put it together or not. Mike, thanks so much for stopping in, man. Have a great night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, and Birdie says they're doing stainless steel hardware. Again, it just may take a little time until it's in every package. And I will say some of the screws and nuts did not stick. Now, one of the other pluses with the Birdies, and I talk about this all the time, is the Birdies has a flanged, when you're just, and it only matters during the assembly process. The Birdies has a flanged screw and a flanged nut, and you don't need a washer except for on the braces part if you're getting a bed that has the braces. Whereas on the Vigo bed, it's a screw, a washer, and a nut. And just today, y'all, I had an epiphany at how to make that easier. So all this time, I've been going side to side or up and down and trying to go underneath the bed and hold on a washer and a nut. And then for some reason today, my panels were upside down. So I came through and pushed, this was the Birdies today. So I pushed the screw up through the bed and then I was like, put the nut on. I was like, oh my gosh, if I had assembled the Vigo this way with the inside facing up, that would have gone so much faster. So much faster. But one of these days I'm going to perfect it. No, I'm not. That's a lie. I'm just kidding. But I am going to keep getting better at it because I'm just going to keep trying. So that's the most important thing. So, all right, you guys. Well, Vigo does have a dragon fruit planter. It's on somebody's wish list who's sitting inside the house. So I may have to make that happen one day soon. All right, let's see. A Flicker Hill does half the bed and then turns it over to do the other half. Absolutely. I tried that today in this video that'll be coming out comparing the two beds. I did try that I even rolled it over myself for the Birdies bed. The new Vigo is a 10-in-1. It was too heavy for me to try to lift and flip over by myself. So, well, you guys, how do we get already to a minute 3? If y'all don't have any final questions, we'll start wrapping up because I can begin to feel the mosquitoes. This is not a green screen behind me. I am really sitting out on the porch. It's hard to tell. It's kind of funny. I posted this earlier on Instagram. You know, this is the real view. Like y'all see me from there. And I am really very fancy. I'm sitting on the porch in that chair, just like that, super fancy. And so no green screens here, just green grass, green meadows. So, well, it did go very, very fast, y'all. I'm super grateful for y'all. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you for being a part of this community. If you want to hear more about what we're doing in the garden outside of YouTube, go ahead and put your email on that list. And what I plan to send to that is when we have some updates in the garden, things we want to share. I may share if there are offers coming out from any of the programs we're affiliated with, but it's always going to be good content. And it's always going to be because I care about what I'm sharing with you all. Until next time, my friends. Oh, mosquitoes are good. Yeah, they are. They're starting to buzz around now. It couldn't be any of the plants that I have sitting in water over here that caused any of that. No. So, well, y'all have a fantastic night. And of course, it wouldn't be the same if I didn't sign off appropriately. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember to wear that high quality sunscreen, drink plenty of water, and have a fantastic night. Thanks everybody so much. Y'all have a really great night. And I will see you again on the first Sunday of June. I don't know that date yet, but I'll make sure I get it loaded in so these get the notifications out a little more readily. Y'all have a great night. Kaylee, thank you so much for moderating tonight. I'm very appreciative. I appreciated it. Oh yeah, doing some chores. I'm so glad I can make it go faster. You are very welcome. Thanks everybody. Good night.